So when you're done and you have the effect, let me show you before and after. So here's where we started, and here's where we are now. And that's 100% in Lightroom with the Harmony presets. The only thing manually I've done is brush a little of the soft skin effect from his face, just to get that beautiful contrast between brand new soft baby girl and dad. We don't want to over soften dads. So now at this stage, what you can do is you can synchronize this edit with the rest of the gallery. I would not recommend synchronizing any personal brushing, any kind of additional hand editing you've done. For example, when we went on the blemishes and we took a little off dad's face and tattoos. And also when we did a brush and brightened his face up a smidge, I would not sync them across because Lightroom doesn't know, it's not yet clever enough to know that you've applied that brushing to his face. So if he moves in the next image or the next subsequent images, the brushing is going to sit next to his face or in the corner or somewhere strange. So do not sync manual brushing. What you do, you have your original image selected, and then you can hold down Control or Command and select any subsequent images in your gallery, and you hit sync. Make sure you selected everything. Do not select the manual brushes that you have created. For example, the brush dodge, and I'll show you in a moment what happens if you do, but just anything that you've made physical adjustments on with a brush, don't sync them across. So we did, in this image, we did the blemish reduce and the dodge brush. Alternatively, there's another thing you can do. If you did want to sync this across, is you can then edit the mask. I'll show you that in a moment. So we have these edits are applying now to the next image that we're applying them to, and you could select 20 images and apply them to. Lightroom can take a moment to apply because it's got to really think about what you're asking it to do. Hopefully in future this will get a bit quicker, but the speed of this really depends on your processor and how many images you selected and how many masks you're bringing across. But if it looks like it's going to take a really long time, then that's a great opportunity for a coffee break while the computer is doing the work for you. And so now let's take a look and see if the edits have been applied. They have. So now both images have got this cohesive look and feel. Now I did not sync across a couple of edits that we brushed on, and one of those was the soft skin. So you can either reapply manually to those images and manually brush, or if you wanted to, let me just select them both again. Always selecting your base image first and hit sync. Now if I do select the dodge brush, that we added in, and the skin blemish reduce that we manually brushed on, it's only brushing that you need to worry about, and hit replace. Now what's going to happen is you might notice that we have a little bit of ghost brushing going on because Lightroom, anything else you've selected, people, faces, hair, anything like that, Lightroom knows what to do. When you've manually brushed, it's going to bring that brush over exactly as it is. It doesn't know that to apply that somewhere differently, for example, to a different face. The technology is not quite there yet. So if you have done some manual brushing, which I would save until the end of the edit, if you've done some manual and you're syncing it and you notice a weird ghost area in some of your images, I'm going to show you how to deal with that. Okay, so now we have synchronized the edits over, including the manual burn brush and the skin blemish reducer, which we painted a little bit on and off manually. So if I'm going to click on show overlay and click on this, it's going to show you in red where it's been painted. So you can see now, we can kind of see these areas and they kind of zone in with the shape of the last guy. You see we have this big area here that's been taken off. So what I'd do in this case, you can just click on each brush that you've added in manually and you can change them. You can come over and do what you need to do. For brushing, we don't want to auto sync because, you can add auto sync switch for 2 or 3 images together. That's absolutely fine. I wouldn't do that for brushing. So you can come in and you can then change this mask. you can tweak it down if you wanted to. If you notice any weird ghosting or areas like that. And it's the same with our lighten brush. Now, as it happens, Dad's face is in pretty much the same space, the same kind of area. So that has been lightened, but where he's looking down in this image, and he's much straighter in this one, you can see it's lightening has kind of gone into a little blobby area. So we can add or subtract using brush 1. You can go to erase if you want to take any of this away. And you can hit brush size A or B. It just means you can have 2 different sizes to add any in where you wanted to add it. And you're done. So it just takes a little bit of manual tweaking if you want to add any manual brush work in. But aside from that, we now have both images matching, both images edited, looking absolutely gorgeous, and this would apply to any images in the gallery you chose. Any settings you chose will come across absolutely beautifully. Just bear in mind, if you've done manual brushing, you will need to manually keep that trend up on all the images you need it to brush on.